Hello everyone, welcome back to Out of Spec Guide. I'm Max. Today you join me in, well, you might notice it's a different environment. I'm in the Out of Spec Detailing Hub, Clear Detailing Colton shop here, and Colton just left for the day, but I have the Nissan Aria here, and I want to make a quick rant video for you guys today, but I hope this video is informative and it might explain a few trends we're seeing in the EV industry. So why am I talking about the Nissan Aria? Well, one thing off the bat I'll mention, this is the high-end Nissan Aria SUV EV thing, so it's the E-Force Platinum. So let's just give some context, right? Nissan made the Leaf in 2011. It was one of the first production electric cars sold in the US. It was a big deal. And for the time, it was genuinely pretty good. But let's be real, in the years since, the Leaf has stagnated. Nissan hasn't released any other EVs up until now with Aria. And Aria stretches in price from about $50,000 to just over $60,000, depending on which trim you get. There are some in the high 40s, but those are very base model front-wheel drive ones. So this particular puppy comes in, if we look here on the sheet, at $62,000, $770. I don't know why I said dollars twice, but comes in at a pretty, high price, accounting, delivery fee, and everything. And why am I bringing that up? Well, behind me also in Colton shop is a Tesla Model Y. And I know some people dislike this, but Tesla Model Y and everything Tesla makes with 3 and Y kind of kill everything else in the market right now. That's what this video is about. Basically, right, this SUV, CUV thing is, it's a Tesla. Maybe you don't like that for whatever reason. It's fair enough. Elon Musk, Tesla, you can feel how you want about that. But the performance, the battery, the charging this gives you for mid $50,000 now, sometimes low $50,000, standard all-wheel drive, is pretty sweet as they come now, right? Dual motor, all-wheel drive. It's just a really good value proposition. And honestly, the interiors in these aren't bad. I'm not sure if this one is unlocked. It is. Yeah, so you can come in here with me in the Tesla. I'm just going to sit in it, and you might know what a Tesla is like, but, it's a fine interior. The quality's gotten better over the years, and the design is all minimal, and it's fine, right? So I mentioned that because we get into a product like Aria, and Aria is a perfectly fine SUV thing. I think they've actually done a pretty good job, Nissan has, on their interior here. You can see a full breakdown of it on Out of Spec Detailing, but there's an issue here. Elements of this are just unashamedly an economy car. There's some cost cutting going on here. So if you'll look at things like here, plastic on the door panel, really cheap. Other certain just details in this car, while some are really nice, like these illumination, others are just, I don't know. They don't feel quite right. There's a lot of loose trim, just things that don't feel built and assembled super well. And generally, this speaks to the issue here. So, right, this is more expensive than a Model Y. And it has comparable battery, actually 87 kilowatt hours. I think it has total output of like 390 horsepower from the, 2-motor all-wheel drive system. But when you're paying more than Model Y, you expect, to get more than a Model Y. And I don't think you do with this. On range, it's maybe competitive, but it's also just, not on Tesla charging network. And here's the real kicker, no tax credit. So you don't get $7,500 off this, or is, refund on next year's taxes like you do with not only Tesla Model Y, but Mustang Mach-E, this another competition for this vehicle. Now, Ioniq 5 and EV6 are sort of in a similar boat where they don't get the tax credit when you buy them new with the current regime in the US. That's just how it is. But it's not much an issue with those because while they are a worse deal now because of that, they are so competitive when it comes to the battery architecture, right? The 800-volt charging, just a lot of things about those eGMP vehicles, the Ioniq 5 and the EV6 from Kia. Those are just such great competitive cars. This is a fine car, but it doesn't stack up to the ultra-competitive market of today. That's my opinion anyways. It's just weirdly expensive for what it is. It's a little bit too late and a little bit too overpriced. If this thing came out alongside like ID4, then it'd be amazing. And I mentioned ID4 too, because ID4 is cheaper than not only this, but cheaper than Model Y. And it's great. Kyle loves all the ID4s he spent time with. Colton loves his own personal ID4. And then you've got this. And in some ways, this actually falls short of ID4. I don't like the driving feel as much. Sure, it's faster, but there's these weird quality things and just issues, because this is, again, Nissan's first EV since the Leaf. It's a big step for them, and they have gone, I don't know, they've improved, but it's like they haven't improved quickly enough. This is too late and it's too expensive. And there's, I think, simple reasons for this. Let's just be honest. Battery costs. 87 kilowatt hours of, I believe that's gross capacity. Maybe it's not. But anyhow, either way you slice it, that is a large battery to account for the bookkeepers out there. And when you have that battery cost in the vehicle, you've got to cheap out on other places. That's what Nissan has done with Aria. Again, not to say Aria is a cheap or a bad car, but it's just not as competitive as it can be. Now, how are the other manufacturers getting around this? Well, Volkswagen's getting a tax credit, and they're also just getting super good at optimizing cost. They've been building EVs for a bit, actually. ID4 is getting to a nice mature space. Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning. Ford's actually losing money on those if you look at the news. And that's fine. They're making that bet. They're hoping they'll be profitable in a few years. They're just spending a bunch of money now to try to gain market share in the EV space. Tesla, well, they're just profitable because they've been doing this for a while too. They make a lot of their own components in-house, their software, and it shows. I mean, not only is it nicely integrated, but it saves cost for them. It's a great model. So works for them. And then Hyundai and Kia, the South Koreans have the advantage because, well, they're in South Korea. South Korea, if you don't know, is one of the places where they make a lot of batteries. So they have a little bit of a home field advantage, I would suppose, on cost and battery technology and being on the bleeding edge. Then you have a company like Nissan, who is in Japan. And let's be honest, Japan, I love the car brands there. Nissan, Honda, Toyota all have venerable history. However, all of them have been slow to adopt EVs, and that could be a whole separate video. But the long and short of it is that automakers who don't have these advantages, like the South Koreans do with batteries or Tesla does with its production, they face a really, really stiff road ahead. And that is what this video is about. Basically just explaining that. I hope that's helpful for explaining why vehicles like the Aria are good, but as reviewers, we have to be honest and admit that they are just not as competitive as they could be. And that hopefully things will get better, but this is Nissan's first stab at it since the Leaf. It's been a while, much improved, but it's just not keeping up with the very best at the moment. I worry for their future, but I'm hoping for their sake they catch up. Toyota is so big that I think they'll be fine, but we'll explore the other automakers in future videos. That's just a quick kind of rant I have about Aria. There'll be much more content specific to Aria, how it drives, charging test, all that stuff in reviews, and we might do some videos with it on guide if I have time as well. So thanks for watching this rant. I hope that was interesting, informative. If not, comment below. If you disagree with something I said, also comment. And please let us know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future, whether it's for Nissan Aria or any other EV. I'm Max, and I'll see you next time.